Hello, my name is Dana Inganga. I help individuals and teams transition and transform, find their niche, workplace alignment, human resource coaching, career advancement, mentorship, training and development. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dana Inganga and I'm a HR professional, and today on our talk we are going to focus on a very interesting topic. Our topic for today, it's not only interesting but also critical. We tend to ask ourselves a question: why are employees leaving organization at a very high rate? So we know and we also understand that people leave organization at their own volition, but at the end of the day, what is this major cause of employees leaving organization at a very high rate? Being that also, according to Bureau Labor of Statistics, it shows that 48% of employees and also 48 million of people are actually leaving organization voluntarily, but also this trend doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. And that's why on our today's topic, we are going to look at it critically and just outline points as to why employees are leaving organization at a high rate. So from the outlined reasons as to where we're going to look at why employees are leaving organization at a high rate, we also look at it in terms of the business perspective, because at the end of the day, if employees are leaving, when the turnover at any given organization it's at 10%, then it's an alarm. You know, at any organization, then it means it's a red flag. And that's the reason as to why we had to come up with this topic and just focus on the reasons and issues. And also at the end of our topic, we're going to learn and just get to understand. Just take an example. If today you've gotten to any employer of your choice, or I believe that when you're applying for a job, there's always that need that you really want to be part of that organization. But why is it that when you get there, you feel like you also need to get out very fast? And one of the reasons as to why people always want to leave organization, it's because of unrealistic expectations and also unreasonable workloads. You get like, you've already placed your goals, you already know what you need to do, your duties, your roles and your responsibilities. But now you tend like, at the end of the day, you have a lot of work that you're doing that also cannot even be measured. You're very busy, but at the end of the day, it's not impactful. So you tend to find like so many people, they get discouraged, and that's the reason as to why they want to leave the organization very quickly and very fast. So it's very important that you assess all the responsibilities that you're doing in that organization, anything that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Can you be able to measure it? Does it give you a fulfillment, or you're just doing it to tick a box? And the second thing that you're going to actually look at it's poor work culture. Because at the end of the day, if you're in that organization and you don't feel that sense of belonging, because so many people, they say that they want to leave one employer to the next because of the organization culture. Some people say that the organization culture can be very, very toxic, and other people say that it's not friendly. At the end of the day, yes, you're not in that employer to go and look for friends, you know, you're not going there because you want an easy life. But at the end of the day, you want to feel that you're part of where the organization is going. Because if there are vision and there are some set goals which are set and they're aligned in that organization, you want to be part of it. But if anything that is in that organization, if they have the values, they're saying that one of the values in that organization is people. But at the end of the day, are they involving the people? Because the way we do things in that organization on a day-to-day basis, that is what actually informs the culture of that organization. And when it is not friendly, when it is not welcoming, that's the reason as to why you find like so many people leave the organization. So at the end of the day, we tend to look at it in terms of also the employee and the employer. Where do you play your role even in that organization culture? So the employer will get to understand, and also the employee to get to understand. Are you the person also who is informing a good culture, or are you the person who's informing another culture which is not very good? And the third reason as to why most of the employees leave organization at a very high rate, it's simply because of lack of growth of opportunities. Because at the end of the day, if there are no opportunities for somebody to grow, then you feel like you're stuck in that position for a very long time. Because if you enter that organization as an officer, you want at the end of the day, you are able to grow from one level to the next, from one job title to the next job title. But if you're stagnated at one place, then it means that you'll start feeling discouraged, you'll not be motivated. So that's the reason as to why you'll have to look for another job in a different organization. So it's very important for employers to assess if an employee has stayed in that organization for 2 years, 3 years, are there opportunities for growth? If today there's something new that is coming up in the organization, because I believe most of the organization nowadays, they pick their values, which is innovation. Then innovation means that you're growing day to day. So at the end of the day, as the organization is changing and also transforming, are the employees stuck in their old ways, or are they also transforming and changing as the organization is changing? So it's very important, and it's very critical for employers to always assess and see, are there opportunities for growth for the employees around the organization, and also for the employees. If you're sitting in that organization and truly you've been in that position for a very long time and you really desire to grow, but you're not seeing any growth of opportunities in that organization, so it's very important for you. Also, you can look for another job, or maybe try and also go and talk to your manager, saying that you feel like you're being underutilized and you've stayed in that position for a very long time and you really desire to grow. And the fourth thing that you're going to look at, the reason as to why employees leave organization at a very high rate. Right now, the economy is very tough. We are in times whereby even Kenya, the dry season, it's like we're in the dry season. So at the end of the day, we look at right now, most of the employees, they're being paid very less, so unsatisfactory pay. That is another reason as to why most people leave. Because if the economy is very tough, you can imagine if you've been in the same salary for the past 3 years, nothing has been added, and you know the cost of living has already increased at a higher percentage. So this is the reason as to why most of the people, they tend to leave the organization to go and look for greener pastures, just a markup on their salary. So it's very important for employers to assess and see if the employees have been in that organization for a very long time and they've not been given a salary increase, or even that the cost of living adjustment. So it's very important that as employers, you get to understand that right now the economy is very tough. And also for the employee, if you've stayed in that organization for a very long time and you don't see them giving you a salary increase, but you feel like already you need to do your own personal development, and the finances that you have, the muscle is very low. So it's very important for you to get to assess and see, okay, that's the reason, another reason whereby you want to leave that organization. And another reason as to why most people leave the organizations because of lack of faith in the management. The moment the employees don't trust the management, it sits in a very hard place, whereby if people don't trust the people who are making the decision at the end of the day, then it means that most people will start looking for other jobs. Because if the management is talking about point A, but whatever they're perceiving or whatever they're giving employees, it's like it's B or C. So it's very important, whatever the management says, also the employees can relate and say, if you are promised something in January, come February, it has not been fulfilled. Come August, it has not been fulfilled. So it's very important that employees need to have faith in the management, and also the management of that organization. Do employees trust you? Or maybe they're just there for the sake of being there because they don't have anywhere else to go. And the moment they get somewhere else to go, they will actually leave. And you can imagine you've invested in that employee, that you want that return on investment, but they feel like because us, we don't trust the management, then there's no reason as to why I need to be here. So it's very important for us to get to assess and understand if the management is trusted or not. And another reason as to why most of the people actually leave firms at a high rate, it's because of poor work-life balance. Because at the end of the day, you don't want a situation whereby you just want to be working and working and working. Yeah, work is good, because at the end of the day, they say that God blesses the work of your hands, but you have that balance. Because the moment you have a poor work-life balance, that's whereby you find employees, they're always stressed in that organization. And another thing, they suffer from burnout. And you know, the moment somebody suffers from burnout, even their productivity will start showing. So it's very important for us to get to understand and also assess, as the employers and the employees, you get to understand, when I'm working in this organization, do I have a work-life balance? Is my family even get to spend time with me, or am I always just working? I've already worked in the organization, let's say 8 hours, you've gone over and above. Because at the end of the day, don't get it wrong, we don't want people who compromise. We want people who, even if you're told to give 100%, you also go and give 101, even to up to 110. Because at the end of the day, also whatever you do, is that what God will bless? Because at the end of the day, they say we do not work for men, but we work for God. But at the end of the day, do you have that work-life balance? Because you don't want a situation where by one time you're too much stressed, you cannot even function mentally. You also are being affected because you don't have a work-life balance. So it's very important for you to get to understand and also tick some of the things that if today I'm not working, then what are some of the activities that you can start engaging yourself? Because nowadays, the way you've just said, most of the organization, their value is innovation. You find like they have a lot of tech people. So at the end of the day, they work until they work very late. They 8 to 5. Again, they push until midnight, because at the end of the day, you have a lot of projects that you need to deliver on. But you forget that you're the same person who's the one that you needed. Because at the end of the day, if anything happens to your body, there's one thing that I was reading in this one book that it actually says that if your physical body is affected, or maybe your mind is affected, or your spiritual body, your spiritual being is affected, then it means you're not going to function very well. But if mentally you're whole, if spiritually you're whole, and also your physical body and your mind is at peace, then it means you're going to deliver. So it's very important that we encourage people to have a work-life balance. And the moment an organization has that a balance in the organization, most people, they will not be leaving their employers, moving from juggling from one employer to the next employer, trying to get that balance. And another thing that we are going to look at today, the reason as to why people tend to leave organization at a very, very high rate, is because there's no appreciation, there's lack of recognition. You go over and above, you do your level best, but no one recognizes you. You just feel like there's no one who is seeing what you do. So it's very important as employers, do you recognize your employees when they do very well? Do you tend to appreciate and say that in this project you did very well, you actually submitted it on time, and we really appreciate the effort that you're bringing in this organization? Because at the end of the day, every human being, they love to be clapped for. And if somebody has stayed there, they're going over and above, but no one is always clapping for them. No one is even recognizing the work that they're doing. It will tend to a place whereby they'll start feeling discouraged, they start feeling they are very demotivated, their productivity will always be affected. So it's very important that people get to be recognized in that organization. And also you as a person, if you feel that you always go over and above and you feel like no one is recognizing your job, no one is recognizing what you do, then it gets to a point whereby you'll have to go and look for another job. And that's where we've built our topic for today. You'll go look for another job simply because you're looking for that recognition. You're looking for somebody to come and say, you know what, Diana, you're doing very well. Even in this area, you're doing very well. Or maybe there's a place that you need to develop. That feedback is actually very important. So from the topic that we've built today, we've looked at reasons as to why most people tend to look for one employer to the next employer. But also, we want to pose a question to you. You also need to do a self-assessment. Yes, there's a part for the employer, and also there's a part for employee. The same way, when we are all looking for blessings in this life, there's part for God and there's part for you. Are you accountable to the things that you do? So it's very important that you go and do your own self-assessment and see, why do I want to move to the next employer? Because also, you can get yourself in one of the big boys. The way so many people always want to move to the international organization, but you get to that organization and you don't have that satisfaction, because at the end of the day, you're looking at peace. The moment you have peace in your heart doing that job, you'll always be happy getting to work. Because most of the people, they even always DM me and they ask me, why do I feel like I'm not being satisfied in this job? Also, there's a responsibility that goes back to you. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to grow, also what are some of the things that you're doing to help you be able to grow? Even if you get to that employer of your choice, you go and settle there, and now you do that which you're supposed to do. So thank you so much for watching my video. Until next time, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.